live now.
Hello everyone, good morning. Welcome back to another session brought to you by LeapScholar. My name is Deeksha, and as you all know, since the past week we have been doing this IELTS mini series where we are trying to get you ready for the IELTS exam as soon as possible. So we have already covered most of the modules and the easiest module is left. So I'm sure you must have guessed from the fact that I'm saying it's the easiest module. Which one is it? Of course, the listening module, right? So the module where it is the easiest to score a band 9. How have all of you been doing? Hello, Akanksha. Hello, Manasi. Hello, everyone. So nice to see that all of you are here. A very good morning to all of you. I hope you are having a great day. And I hope that your day gets better from here. Okay. I have been very well. Thank you for asking. All right. Okay. So yes, today I have something special for you. I recently came out with my grammar batch, which a lot of you did join, but some of us could not join it because of the class timings. So because my timings were in the evening and some of us, had our jobs were clashing, so we were not able to join. That's fine. So we are going to do that again. And this time we have an excellent time. So whether you are working or whether you go to the college or whether you have online classes, you will be able to take it because the timings are in the morning. So as you can see, we have this new batch for you. The timings are brilliant. They are 7 to 8 a.m. in the morning. So right in the morning, early, just like they say, the early bird catches the worm. You can be that bird and you can get this batch. And if you are early today, you'll get a 50% discount on this batch, which is incredible. So imagine this batch is for $9.99 and only for today, you are going to get a 50% off on this. So that means it'll be just for around 499 rupees after your discount, which is almost as low as our regular course price. So please be the early bird and catch this before this goes away. It's only valid for today. And as you know, this is specifically designed for beginners. You will be looking at almost 10 grammar topics. By the end of this course, you would have covered all the grammar topics that are required. So even if you have a very basic problem, for example, sentence construction or sentence formation is not proper, you can still join it. You would have help from Veronica ma'am in this as well. So you have 10 live grammar classes, you have 20 IELTS classes as well, where we cover all modules. You get 6 speaking evaluations. So practice makes a man perfect, and we are putting that to use here. By the time you're done with 6 speaking evaluations, I'm sure you would be perfectly ready. And along with that, you have 3 computer-based mock tests, which include your writing evaluations. So if you are going to attempt the computer-based test, this includes 3 of those as well. So you don't have to purchase them anywhere else. This will give you a real hands-on experience of your computer-based test. I'm doing well. So yes, if you have any queries about this course, please do let me know. Yes, you can ask me. I will definitely answer any query that you have. All right. So now if you want to book this course, there's a link in the chat box. You can just click on that. That will redirect you directly to the link and you can book it from there. So remember, this is only valid for today. Do not let this opportunity pass away. It's a once in a lifetime opportunity. All right. Okay, great. Perfect. So yes, you have an option. You can choose your paper-based test or your computer-based, whichever you want. If you are attempting the paper-based, of course, you can take that as well. Yes, Gurvinder, we will be looking at listening today. Yes, Sonia. So I can say, that this is kind of a spoken English batch because, we are going to focus on how to improve spoken English for 2 weeks. So, we'll be focusing on grammar. And then you get 6 speaking evaluations as well. So you can This will definitely improve your spoken English as well. So Dhaneshri, we don't train for general, but let me tell you that the only difference in general and academic is the writing task 1. So only one thing is different. You can join this as well. Yes, Niyati, if I were you, I would choose the computer-based test. I am very partial towards it. What happened, Sajid? Okay, so that's all from my side for today. Let us begin. And before we begin, let's look at something special. So let's look at the word of the day. Any guesses? What word is it going to be? It's actually a very simple word. Yes, Shivani, the link is in the chat box. ACOM computer-based test. All right. So any guesses about what is the word of the day? Okay, it's a very simple word and all of us know the meaning already. Just that the past tense of that word has a variation. So the word that I'm talking about is to hang. Now, the past tense has a slight variation. Sometimes it's hanged, sometimes it's hung. So when do we use hanged? When do we use hung? What is that difference? Why this partiality? Why does the same verb have two past tenses? Okay. Who can help me understand what is the difference between hanged and hung? Any guesses? What do you think? You can make a guess. Guess, Manpreet, what do you think? No, so both of them are correct. I'm not saying that one is correct or wrong. Exactly, Varun. Thank you so much for clarifying. So here Varun has given us the answer. He says that, saying in very layman terms, I can say that when it comes to hung, things are hung and people are hanged, in the sense that it refers to the death penalty. And everything apart from the death penalty, we will use hung for it, right? All right, Yash, let's concentrate. So no, Usha, it's going to be she hanged herself, right? So people hang themselves, right? So that is the main difference. Let me give you another example. So here is my example. As you can see, in all situations, you will use hung. For example, I hung a picture or I hung out at the mall. And when you are referring to somebody being sentenced to death, you will use hanged. For example, the Salem witches were hanged. Right? So, okay, new word. So not a new word, but yes, we've clarified when to use which word. Perfect. So Niranjan says, I hung up the call yesterday. Okay, let me see some example sentences. Absolutely correct, Jolly. All right, so let me see a few examples. Let me see you use them. All right, I hung up the call yesterday, yes. Both of them are the simple past. So yes, hanging someone, sorry. Hanged someone. System got hung, correct. I hung up my painting, absolutely correct. All right, awesome. Okay, perfect. So I can see that everybody's understood. All right, Shubham, just another repetition. Hung is used for everything except for the death sentence, for which we use hanged. Right? So the only situation where you use hanged is when you mean that a person has suspended himself from the rope. So a person has been sentenced, or let's say a person commits suicide. So yes, that is when you use hanged. Apart from it, everything else you will use hung. Absolutely correct, Arshdeep. The criminal was bound to be hanged, and an advertisement was hung. Absolutely correct. All right. Okay. So let's move forward and begin the listening module now. So I hope that was a good change for you. So now let's understand what is the listening exam like. The listening exam has a recording. So it has 4 recordings which play for 30 minutes. And after these 4 recordings, you have total 40 questions. In case you are attempting the paper-based test, you will get 10 minutes extra to transfer your answers, right? However, if you're taking the computer-based test, you get almost 4 minutes extra, right? Now, it does look like the computer-based test has less time, but that is not the case. Why? Because in the computer-based test, this 4 minutes, it's going to be after the recording, and you will get sufficient time between the recordings as well. So around 40 seconds after every recording to write the answers there and then. So if you look at it on the whole, the computer-based test is more convenient. All right. Now, I do have a free link where you can take the computer-based test for free. I will share that link with you. I'll put it in the comment section at the end of the class. All right. So stay tuned. Wait with me till the end. I'll share that link with you. You can take a free computer-based test only for the listening module. All right. Okay. Now, as I said, there are 4 recordings. These recordings get progressively difficult. So the difficulty level keeps increasing with every recording. What does that mean? That the first recording is the easiest. The second one is a little bit more difficult. The third one is even more difficult. And the fourth recording is the most difficult, right? And there is no negative marking. So please make sure that you are not leaving any blank vacant. Please write something or the other. Even if you've missed out an answer, guess. So today when we practice, guess your answers, right? Do not leave them blank ever. I don't want to see any answers blank, right? And always use a pencil. Why? Because your answer sheets are scanned, so they do not accept your pens. Please use a pencil only. Okay, now let us understand what are these 4 recordings and why is the 4th recording the most difficult? What comes in it usually? Now, when I look at it recording wise, there is no such guarantee that this thing will come in this section, right? There's no guarantee. Anything can come in any section, but I have observed things that usually some things come in some sections. So let me share that with you. Let me share my observations with you. All right. So the first recording is usually a conversation between 2 speakers, right? Super easy. The second section now is a monologue. What does that mean? That there's only one speaker, and usually in this section, you get your map. Now, I'm not giving you a guarantee. Sometimes your map comes in the 4th section as well, right? But usually it's there in the 2nd section. Okay. Now, section 3 is again a conversation. Now it can be up to 4 speakers. I said up to, doesn't mean always 4, right? Up to can mean even 2 as well, right? Up to means maximum 4 speakers. Okay. And your section 4. Now, why is this so difficult? Let us understand. Section 4 is one speaker, and this speaker is usually a professor or a student or a lecturer, as you can say. And this person is either giving a lecture to the students or this person is giving a presentation. And this presentation is on an academic topic. So, for example, it could be related to science, social science, history, civics, political science, biology, any subject. It's going to be some subject related, even English, right? So it's a specialist, kind of like a specialist lecture, right? So it's a university style lecture. And after this, usually this is followed by note completion. So that is logical, right? If a speaker is, if a professor is speaking, you would take notes, right? So note completion or flowchart completion. Now, why is this difficult? Let's understand. Let's understand, for example, Avneet, we've just started, do not worry. For example, let's say that, I'm giving you a lecture. So you would make notes Now, would you write entire sentences? No, right? You wouldn't write entire sentences. What else would you do? So first of all, you would make notes in phrases, words, short words. What else? You would paraphrase. For example, I am saying a huge thing. I am using maybe some complex verbs as well. I am a teacher, right? I could use big words. For example, I can say that deforestation occurred in the palm groves. Let's say in the palm forest, right? So I'm a teacher, I'm saying this long thing, but the student wouldn't write it down. He would simplify it for himself. So this will not be written. What will be written? Instead, the student will write, trees were cut in dash. So now what happens is the speaker is saying deforestation occurred, but I can see trees were cut. So as a student, I can only see this. So I am waiting to hear trees were cut, but that never comes. The speaker never says that. And if I don't relate this to the fact that deforestation occurred, I will miss out. I will miss out the location, which is the forest, right? So you will have to continuously keep not translating as it, but you will have to continuously keep relating in your mind that, all right, I can, I can hear a synonym for trees as well. Maybe he could say plants, maybe he could say deforestation, right? So we'll have to look out for a lot of paraphrasing. Don't worry, we'll practice a lot of note completion today. All right. Okay. So we'll try to practice a lot of note completion. And if time is remaining, we'll practice maps and MCQs as well. All right. Now, how do I improve my listening skills? So I have 4 tips for you. A lot of you already know these tips, but still let me reiterate. So the first thing is watch films, and watch films of all accents. Why? So they'll help you predict what is being said by providing visual cues. When you look at the body language of an actor as well as their tone of voice, that helps you predict. That will put you into the habit of predicting. So today also we are going to practice a lot of prediction, right? Also, films expose you to a lot of different English accents, and that will help you become more skilled in understanding a wide variety of accents. For example, not just your British and American accent, but also there can be other accents used. For example, the Australian accent, Irish accent. So you need to be habituated to all of these accents. And music. So music can help you understand pronunciation, the word stress, right? Which is very important. Because in the IELTS exam, you will see a lot of words being pronounced differently. For example, how do we pronounce H? We call it H, but some people may say H. That sounds similar to 8, right? Similarly, your words like 60, they might call them as 60, 70, 80. So the T becomes maybe pronounced as D. Then what about your 0? Some people call it O or not, right? So we'll have to be a little careful. And how do we learn all of these things? When we listen to a lot of different accents. Okay. And yes, of course, listen to TED Talks and podcasts. There are so many TED Talks and podcasts, especially on there's Spotify, there is Duolingo. So there are a lot of podcasts for English learners as well. So you can probably get help from there. All right. Now, we'll do something different today. We'll try and predict a lot before your question begins. So we'll predict what is the part of speech. What can the answer be? If it's a noun, let's write N. If you think it's a verb, write V. If you think it's an adjective, write adj. Right? So we'll predict so that we, do not write a grammatically incorrect answer. Now let's look at the word count. If the instructions state one word only, in the listening exam, you can consider your numbers as words as well, right? So you can write 12 also. That's fine. All hyphenated words are going to be counted as one word. For example, fair-haired. It has a hyphen in the middle. It is one word. 24 is one word and months is another word. So 24 months becomes two words. Be careful with your spelling and grammar. As if your spelling and grammar is incorrect, you will, there's no half mark. So your mark will go away, right? Okay, let's look at the band converter. So here is my band converter. As you can see, there is no such option. Oh, all right, Varun. So yes, try to listen to them without subtitles on. All right, Mira. So you've written Linking Park lyrics in the chat box. Great. Okay. So how much do I need to score for a band 7? Easy. You need 30 answers right. And how much do I need for a band 9? So you need 39 answers right. So let's try today and aim that we get 39 answers correct. Okay. All right. So let's begin and listen to our first note completion question. So this is my first note completion question. Let's predict first. It says complete the notes and it says write no more than 2 words and a number. Now it's allowing me 2 words plus 1 number. Clear? Okay. Yes, Taruneet, you can. Okay. Now let's see. It says origins of chess. Some say game began in Afghanistan and dash. What do you think? What can this be? It's talking about the origins and it say game began in Afghanistan and one more thing. So what do you think? Can you predict the first answer? What is it going to be? Yes, Kamal, the band converter is same. The exam is same for general and academic. You can write digits, Arshad. Exactly. It's going to be the name of a country. Perfect. It's going to be the name of a country. All right. Second, reached Europe by dash. So what is by here telling you? Reached Europe by. So what do you think? By what or by when? 2 answers can be correct. So all right, either it can be a country name, so by another country, or it can be so transportation, or it can be by when, right? So maybe when, right? Okay. Now, variations played in Japan and dash. Again, easy, right? Japan and dash. I think it's going to be, what do you think? Japan and dash. Another country name. All right, let's see if we are correct or not. Okay, next says chess now. Today's dash named after English chess master. Today's what? Today's what is named after English chess master? Not really sure, but can you guess the part of speech? What part of speech is it going to be? So is it a noun, adjective, verb? What part of speech are we looking for? Today's dash. So, perfect. We are looking for a noun, right? So I'm just writing an N. First dash in 1866. First what? Any guesses? Okay, another noun, correct. All right. But can you guess? First move. All right. First version. Okay, first world championship. All right. Okay, let's see which of our guesses are correct. And last one says Capablanca, consider among the top dash names in history of game. The top what names? What do you think? The top dash names. So now, could it be a number? Because usually when I say top dash, it's followed by a number. For example, let's say if I say um, Shilpa is amongst the top 10 students, right? So could be a number. All right, let's see. Let's listen to the audio and check. So how many times is the audio played in the exam? One time only, once only, right? So today also I'm going to play it only once. Let's try and get all our answers right in one go. Okay.
Track 32. John Getnick is with us in the studio tonight to talk about the origins of the game chess. Welcome, John.
Thank you. I'm sure you're all familiar with the wonderful game of chess, but have you ever stopped to think where it came from and when? Well, we believe the game dates back to before AD 600 and was first played in either Afghanistan or what is now northern India. The oldest written references that we have to chess date from then, but there are claims that chess existed earlier than this. We think the version played by Europeans and Americans today travelled through Iran to the main commercial centres of Europe by the year 1000. The game was then taken to Scandinavia by the seafaring Vikings, so by the 1400s chess was played throughout Europe. There are quite a few variations to the game found in other parts of the world. For instance, one variation called shogi is played in Japan. Another variation is played in China. One person whose name stands out in the history of chess is the chess master Howard Staunton. Staunton lived in England in the mid-1800s and gave his name to the chess pieces that are still used in competitions all over the world today and are, in fact, synonymous with the game. Other shapes and sizes exist, but these are by far the most common. Interestingly enough, however, the idea of chess competitions is relatively recent when we consider how long the game has been in existence. The first championship was played in 1866 in London and was won by a man from Bohemia called Steinitz. He was, in effect, the world's first official champion, and he held the title until 1894, when he was beaten by a German called Emanuel Lasker, who in turn lost the title in 1921 to a Cuban called Capablanca. Many people today consider Capablanca as one of the top 3 players ever to live. His game influenced many who followed him, and keen professional players today still study his game.
All right. Okay. Easy, right? Super easy. Let me see your answers. Let me see if you've written them properly. So you could have written all of them in capital letters, but very few of us have done that. All right. Okay. All right. Arshdeep, 1, 2, 3. Fourth answer is not correct. It says today's what was named after Howard Staunton. So what was named after him? All right, good. See, Dhruv, the India, your I is small. That's not fine, right? That's not okay. India is a proper noun. It has to be capital. Arshad, okay, yes. Manpreet, not North India. You have to write the word that he wrote, that he said, right? So a lot of us have, we heard the answers correct, but we've not written them properly. So because of the capitals or, because of some reason, the answers are not correct. All right, so let's check our answers. A lot of us have written northern with a small n, which is not right here. Why? Because we are not referring to northern as an adjective. We are referring to northern as your location, northern India, the location. All right, so let's discuss the answers. The first one is Afghanistan and northern India. That's your first answer. Okay, reached Europe by, he says, year 1400s. You need to write the S. If you don't write the S, it's not going to be correct. Okay, variations were played in Japan and China. Today's chess pieces were named after Staunton. And first championship. Now, some of us have written championship as two words. That's not correct. It is one word. I cannot write it as two words. And the last one is among the top three names. Okay. So you can obviously write three however you like. You can write this or you can write this. So anybody who's written I small or N small, it's not going to be considered correct. Not North India, Manpreet, Northern India. So, see, a lot of us got the correct answers, but our answers were not correct. Why? Because capital letters were not fine. So, what you can do is you can write in all capitals. That is considered correct. So, let's try next one. Next question, let's do it in all capitals. All right? Okay. Yes, Arshad, I've written third China. I've written China only. Yes, Ranjit, all capitals are fine. Okay, let's move to the next question. Check how many can we get right in the next one. No, Sujita, it has to be Northern India because he's being specific. You cannot write only India. That's not the same as where it originated was in Northern India, right? Okay, here is the next question. Let's see. It says, now this is a flow chart, right? It says, now you have different instructions. You have three sets of instructions. The first instructions are for the first three questions. They say no more than one word. All right. So now you have fascinating because people have an dash in children's learning. What do you think? It says an dash. Can you make any guesses? No, Vamsi, I'm only talking about the listening module. These steps are only for listening module. So any guesses? Have and. So first guess is that it will start with a vowel, right? And I think it is going to be a noun, right? Okay. Let's see next. It says dash because it leads to greater understanding of language. Now, first one said fascinating. Second will also be similar. Dash because it leads to greater understanding of language. Third says dash because of the difficulties encountered. All right, okay. Let's look at the next. Now, instructions are changing. Complete the flow chart with no more than two words and a number. Now it's allowing you two words plus a number. Be careful with the instructions. There are three sets of instructions in this question. Discussion of dash includes the use of diaries. Okay, discussion of something, right? Speech in infants dash of life. All right. And speech in children dash years. Okay. Now let's look at the next three. What needs to be done in the question 7 to 10, it says, choose 4 answers from the box and write the correct letters. Now, 7, 8, 9, 10, you just need to write A, B, C, D, E. All right, do not write the complete word. You just need to write the letter. The box gives you language, listening, reading, speaking. Now it says educational approaches, that is ways of developing dash in school children. So you just need to write the alphabet. Okay, how to teach dash, focus on dash, and review of contemporary ideas on development of dash. Okay, so you can read this for another 15 seconds and I'll play the audio then. All right, I hope that you've read all of these. So I'm going to play the audio now.
Track 33.
Today, in our series of lectures on language, we are going to be looking at the way in which children acquire language. This area of study is characterized by 3 main features which may explain the interest in the topic. Firstly, people find it fascinating. This stems from the natural interest that people take in the developing abilities of young children. They are amazed by the way in which children learn, particularly their own children. Secondly, it's important to study how we acquire our first language, because the study of how children learn can lead us to a greater understanding of language as a whole. The third point is that it's a complex area of study, and this is because of the enormous difficulties that are encountered by researchers as soon as they attempt to explain language development, especially in the very young child. In today's lecture, we will cover a number of topics. We will start by talking about the research methods that are used. There are a number of ways that researchers can investigate children's language, and these include the use of diaries, recordings, and tests. And later in the course, we'll be looking at how researchers make use of these. We will then go on to examine the actual process of language learning, starting with the development of speech in young infants during their first year. This is the time associated with the emergence of the skills of speech perception. In other words, an emergence of the child's awareness of his or her own ability to speak. We will then move on to look at language learning in the older child, that is, in children under 5. As they mature, it is possible to begin analysis in conventional linguistic terms. And so, in our analysis, we will look at phonological, grammatical, and semantic development in preschool children. In the second part of the talk, I would like to review some broad educational approaches to how linguistic skills can be developed in school-age children. Put another way, how can we, as teachers, assist our young learners to develop language in the classroom? First, we will look at some issues related to getting children to express themselves confidently when they talk, so we'll be looking at spoken language. We will then move on to that area which causes some children a lot more difficulty and review a number of approaches in relation to teaching children to read. For instance, issues such as whether to teach them to recognize whole words or go back to the more traditional methods of spelling the words out to find their meaning. And finally, we'll conclude with an account of current thinking on perhaps the most neglected area of all, the child's developing awareness of written language and how best to help them achieve in this area.
All right, a lot of paraphrasing. And some of us have, written our answers in incorrect capitals. So the first letter cannot randomly be capital, right? That's why I said that use all capitals.
Tracks.
Now the third answer, he says 2 words, but you are only allowed to write one. So please write only one word in the third answer. All right, let's discuss the answers. I can see most of you have written the answers. Okay, so check how you've written them, and if you have any doubts, then you can ask me. So the first 3 questions, it says one word only, right? So here she says natural interest, but I can only write one word. So I'm going to write interest, then dash. So now here he says important. Then the third one, she says complex nature, right? But I can't write 2 words. I can only write one. So I'm going to write complex. Now it is allowing you 2 words and a number. Okay, so now you can write 2 words. So the first one, discussion of research methods. Okay. The fifth one, speech in infants' first year of life. Right, so it's going to be first year of life. Speech in children, he says under 5 years. Right, so years is already written there. I don't need to repeat that. I can write under 5. All right, now he says ways of developing language. So he says linguistic skills and he says language. So I just need to write A. I don't need to write the entire word. Right? Focus on dash. So he says speaking. Right? So speaking is D. Now, this one a lot of us got wrong. So he does talk about spelling, but before that, he talks about reading. Right? So how to teach reading. This is C. And the last one, he says development of the writing language. So writing is my answer number G. Okay, now you can ask me any doubts that you have. So somebody wrote this with a capital R. That's not fine. So either write all capitals. See, Manpreet, your interest I is capital. Why? Is interest a proper noun? No, right? Learning, you've written your L capital. No. Write in all capitals, right? Complex, you've written C capital. So let's be careful. Let's write in all capitals. No, Ravia, he says people have a natural interest in children's learning. So he doesn't say ability. People have an ability in learning doesn't sound well also. No, Ashia, you need to write research methods. No, Kavya, he says it in plural. So you have to be very careful. You need to write what he says. He says methods in plural, right? So you have to be very careful. If he's saying plural, you need to write plural. Yes, Kajal, I think that should be fine. Ajinkya, you will get around 40 seconds. Trust me, it's more than enough to read. Okay, no worries, do not get disappointed. We have one more audio to go. So let's hear that one. Yes, it is true, Arshad. You need to write in as less number of words as possible. But remember that if the person is, mentioning North India, so here North is not extra. It needs to be written. What are extra words? Extra words are your articles, a and the. So a and the are fine. Okay, those of you who didn't get all answers, you can obviously come back and watch this recording again. But we know that we are a little lazy, so let's see if you do that or not. Okay, so yes, Niyati, where can you get the computer-based test, a mock test? I will share it with you at the end, Niyati. So I'll share the link for a free computer-based test for the listening module. What does typecast mean, Abhishek? I'm not sure. So that's not fine, Ashdeep. Under is very important, right? Okay. Let's next question that we have. All right. So this is my next question. Again, it's note completion. You have 10 questions on the screen. No worries, Kavya. Let's get all right in this one. Yes, definitely, Sridhar, you are allowed. Yes, Neha, audio coming next. So let's read. It says, Stoicism is still relevant today because of its dash appeal. Can you guess? Now it says one word only for all the answers. So stick to the word limit. What do you think? Because of its what appeal? What part of speech do you think it's going to be? Is it an adverb, adjective, noun? Articles are counted, Kajal. Rohan, if you're writing in small letters, then your proper nouns have to be capital. So avoid doing that. Use all caps. Okay, so adjective, right? And Mirha has made a great guess. Mirha says maybe captivating. So yes, any adjective. Maybe captivating, appeal, or any adjective for that matter. Okay. Now let's continue reading. It says Stoics' ideas are surprisingly well known despite not being intended for dash. So it's saying that they are well known and then despite. So it's going to talk about something opposite, right? Something opposite of this, maybe. Okay. Probably a noun, could be a noun. All right. Now, Epictetus said that external events cannot be controlled, but the dash people make in response can be controlled. Now I think we can guess this. What do you think? If you read the sentence, you might be able to guess the third answer. The external events cannot be controlled, but dash people make in response. What do people make in response? You can keep your caps lock on. What do people make in response? All right, okay. Okay, great. So Navjot is saying reaction could be reaction or action. All right. Okay. Let's see if our guesses are correct. Now, next it says a stoic is someone who has a different view on experiences which others would consider as dash. So now I think it's going to be what part of speech? People consider them as dash. So maybe an adjective, right? Okay. Next, now it says George Washington organized a dash about Cato to motivate his men. What do you think? Organized something. So definitely a noun. And what all can you organize? Party. What all can be organized? What collocates? Something. Okay, organized something, a party, maybe a presentation, organize a presentation. All right. Now, Adam Smith's ideas on dash were influenced by Stoicism. Again, ideas on something. Okay. And now it says the treatment for dash is based on ideas from Stoicism. Again, treatment for something. So maybe a disease, organized a party, event, fest, all right. See, it can't be event. Why? Because it's organized a. So it can't be a vowel. Not event, right? Seminar, yes. Okay, people learn to base their thinking on dash, on something, so maybe a noun. And in business, people benefit from Stoicism by identifying obstacles as, what do you think? Hurdles as challenges, stepping stones. What can they identify obstacles as? Let's guess. All right. And the last one says, it requires a lot of dash, but Stoicism can help people to lead a good life. So it requires what? Now, a noun of quality, right? Patience, motivation, dedication. What else? Let's write down write down your guesses. So what all can it be? Patience, motivation, dedication, money. All right, good. Yes, that can be true as well. Effort. All right, I'm running out of space. Okay, so I have written it like this. Enthusiasm. All right, okay, that's it. Abstract nouns. Yes, correct, Arshdeep. So yes, we learned that yesterday. Awesome. Okay, let's check if any of our guesses were correct. So I'm going to play the recording. Remember, it's only going to be played once. All right. Ready?
Part 4. You will hear a professor of philosophy giving a talk on the ancient philosophy of Stoicism. First, you have some time to look at questions 31 to 40.
So see, in the exam, you'll get time in between.
31 to 40.
Ancient philosophy is not just about talking or lecturing or even reading long, dense books. In fact, it is something people have used throughout history to solve their problems and to achieve their greatest triumphs. Specifically, I am referring to Stoicism, which in my opinion is the most practical of all philosophies and therefore the most appealing. Stoicism was founded in ancient Greece by Zeno of Citium in the early 3rd century BC, but was practiced by the likes of Epictetus, Cato, Seneca, and Marcus Aurelius.
Amazingly, we still have access to these ideas, despite the fact that the most famous Stoics never wrote anything down for publication. Cato definitely didn't. Marcus Aurelius never intended his meditations to be anything but personal. Seneca's letters were, well, letters, and Epictetus's thoughts come to us by way of a note-taking student. Stoic principles were based on the idea that its followers could have an unshakable happiness in this life, and the key to achieving this was virtue. The road to virtue, in turn, lay in understanding that destructive emotions like anger and jealousy are under our conscious control. They don't have to control us, because we can learn to control them. In the words of Epictetus, external events I cannot control, but the choices I make with regard to them I do control. The modern-day philosopher and writer Nassim Nicholas Taleb defines a Stoic as someone who has a different perspective on experiences which most of us would see as wholly negative. A Stoic transforms fear into caution, pain into transformation, mistakes into initiation, and desire into undertaking. Using this definition as a model, we can see that throughout the centuries, Stoicism has been practiced in more recent history by kings, presidents, artists, writers, and entrepreneurs. The founding fathers of the United States were inspired by the philosophy. George Washington was introduced to Stoicism by his neighbours at age 17, and later put on a play based on the life of Cato to inspire his men. Thomas Jefferson kept a copy of Seneca beside his bed. Writers and artists have also been inspired by the Stoics. Eugene Delacroix, the renowned French Romantic artist, known best for his painting Liberty Leading the People, was an ardent Stoic, referring to it as his consoling religion. The economist Adam Smith's theories on capitalism were significantly influenced by the Stoicism that he studied as a schoolboy, under a teacher who had translated Marcus Aurelius's works. Today's political leaders are no different, with many finding their inspiration from the ancient texts. Former US President Bill Clinton rereads Marcus Aurelius every single year, and many have compared former President Obama's calm leadership style to that of Cato. Wen Jiabao, the former Prime Minister of China, claims that Meditations is one of 2 books he travels with, and that he has read it more than 100 times over the course of his life. Stoicism had a profound influence on Albert Ellis, who invented cognitive behavior therapy, which is used to help people manage their problems by changing the way that they think and behave. It's most commonly used to treat depression. The idea is that we can take control of our lives by challenging the irrational beliefs that create our faulty thinking, symptoms, and behaviors by using logic instead. Stoicism has also become popular in the world of business. Stoic principles can build the resilience and state of mind required to overcome setbacks, because Stoics teach turning obstacles into opportunity, a lesson every business entrepreneur needs to learn. I would argue that studying Stoicism is as relevant today as it was 2,000 years ago, thanks to its brilliant insights into how to lead a good life. At the very root of the thinking, there is a very simple way of living. Control what you can and accept what you can't. This is not as easy as it sounds and will require considerable practice. It can take a lifetime to master. The Stoics also believed the most important foundation for a good and happy life is not money, fame, power, or pleasure, but having a disciplined and principled character.
All right. Okay. So goes on further, but we've got all the answers. So I'm not playing it further. Okay, let me see your answers. And remember, write them in capital letters. So whatever word he says in plural, that needs to be in plural, right? We have to write the way he says it. We can't change anything. All right, let's discuss the answers. Great. I can see a lot of us have gotten all right. Good job done. Okay, great. So yes, a lot of us have gotten all right. Let's quickly discuss. We have one more short audio left. Okay. So it says, it is still relevant today. It is paraphrasing the question. He says it is the most practical in its appeal. That's what he says, right? So what is my answer going to be? Because of its practical appeal. All right. Then he says, despite not being intended for publication. All right, cannot be controlled, but the choices people make. So we guessed actions or reactions, but here it says choices. Okay, which others would consider as, now he says wholly negative, but I can only write one word. So what should I write? Wholly or negative? Obviously, negative, right? Okay, George Washington organized a play about the life. Okay, Adam Smith's ideas were on capitalism. Then treatment for a lot of problems, for example, depression. And people learn to base their thinking on logic. Then he says obstacles as opportunity. Now, opportunity, he says it in singular, it should be the same. And it requires a lot of practice. So we made a lot of guesses, but yes, we were close. So he says practice. You can spell practice however you like with a C or an S, that's fine. So did you get all right? Anybody who got all right? See, Japsuman, capitalism is spelled wrong. Why did so many of us write discipline at the end? He says it requires a lot of practice. Okay, 9 on 10, Ashia, excellent. Okay, let's move to the next, quickly move to the next one. High five, David, excellent. Good, Kush, brilliant. Good, Kavan. Excellent, Jatin, good, Jolly. Lovely, Rahul. Okay, Mira, now let's try attempting all. Okay, let's quickly move to the next one. Now, next one, I am not going to predict with you. You predict yourself, right? So here is our question. It says, health benefits of dance. All right, again, the instructions say one word only. Now, I am not predicting these with you. Take 10 seconds, take 30 seconds to read this and predict yourself. So it says an experiment on university students suggested that dance increases something. What do you think? What does dance increase? Circulation, fitness, a noun. Yes, Manu, because the holy, he says, is WHOLLY, and that's the adjective. So increases what? Flexibility, all right. Okay. Stamina, behavior, all right. Some noun. For those with mental illness, dance could be used as a form of what? Form of recovery, all right. No, see, Avinash, it says one word only. Peace of mind is 3 words. Meditation, cure, all right. Accessible for people with low levels of dash. Low levels of stamina, all right. Treatment, Okay. Low levels of blood. Happiness. Okay. Better dash reduces the risk of accidents. Better what? Better movement. What else? Workout, all right. Mobility, better glucose, all right. Okay. Improves dash function by making it work faster. What do you think? Heart, brain. So what can work faster? I think heart and brain. All right. Now, gives people more dash to take exercise. What do you think? More? Rest? Workout? Motivation? All right. More motivation makes sense. Encouragement? All right. More time? Okay. Can lessen the feeling of dash, very common in older people. Now, which feeling is very common in older people? Loneliness. All right. Excellent. Good suggestions. Good guesses. Okay, let's check if it's correct or not. All right. Depression. Okay, could be, yes, of course, could be depression as well. How would I know, right? All right. Okay. Now, the university showed that doing Zumba for 40 minutes uses up as many dash as other quite intense forms of exercise. So what does dance use up? As many what? As many? Laziness, no. As many? Calories. Good job. Great. All right. Women suffering from dash benefited from doing Zumba. What do you think? Women suffering from, again, it's going to be a disease, right? Maybe depression or anything. So any disease. And Zumba became a dash for the participants. What do you think? What did it become? Cure? Addiction? Remedy? No, Varun, you can't randomly put a hyphen between any two words. That's not correct. All right. Zumba became something. Yes, menopause could also be. Okay. Boon, yes, became a boon as well, can be possible. Let's check. Let's listen to the audio quickly and check our answers. Let's see if now we got our predictions right.
A good time. It's a universal response to music found in all cultures. But what's only been discovered recently is that dancing not only makes us feel good, it's also extremely good for our health. Dancing, like other forms of exercise, releases hormones, such as dopamine, which make us feel relaxed and happy. And it also reduces feelings of stress or anxiety. Dancing is also a sociable activity, which is another reason it makes us feel good. One study compared people's enjoyment of dancing at home in front of a video with dancing in a group in a studio. The people dancing in a group reported feeling happier, whereas those dancing alone did not. In another experiment, university researchers at York and Sheffield took a group of students and sent each of them into a lab where music was played for 5 minutes. Each had to choose from 3 options: to sit and listen quietly to the music, to cycle on an exercise bike while they listened, or to get up and dance. All were given cognitive tasks to perform before and after. The results showed that those who chose to dance showed much more creativity when doing problem-solving tasks. Dr. Lovett at the University of Hertfordshire believes dance could be a very useful way to help people suffering from mental health problems. He thinks dance should be prescribed as therapy to to help people overcome issues such as depression. It's well established that dance is a good way of encouraging adolescent girls to take exercise. But what about older people? Studies have shown that there are enormous benefits for people in their 60s and beyond. One of the great things about dance is that there are no barriers to participation. Anyone can have a go, even those whose standard of fitness is quite low. Dance can be especially beneficial for older adults who can't run or do more intense workouts, or for those who don't want to. One 2015 study found that even a gentle dance workout helps to promote a healthy heart. And there's plenty of evidence which suggests that dancing lowers the risk of falls, which could result in a broken hip, for example, by helping people to improve their balance. There are some less obvious benefits of dance for older people too. One thing I hadn't realised before researching this topic was that dance isn't just a physical challenge. It also requires a lot of concentration, because you need to remember different steps and routines. For older people, this kind of activity is especially important because it forces their brain to process things more quickly and to retain more information. Current research also shows that dance promotes a general sense of well-being in older participants, which can last up to a week after a class. Participants report feeling less tired and having greater motivation to be more active and do daily activities such as gardening or walking to the shops or a park. Ballroom or country dancing, both popular with older people, have to be done in groups. They require collaboration and often involve touching a dance partner, all of which encourages interaction on the dance floor. This helps to develop new relationships and can reduce older people's sense of isolation, which is a huge problem in many countries. I also looked at the benefits of Zumba. 15 million people in 180 countries now regularly take a Zumba class, an aerobic workout based on Latin American dance moves. John Porcari, a professor of exercise and sports science at the University of Wisconsin, analysed a group of women who were Zumba regulars and found that a class lasting 40 minutes burns about 370 calories. This is similar to moderately intense exercises like step aerobics or kickboxing. A study in the American Journal of Health Behaviour showed that when women with obesity did Zumba 3 times a week for 16 weeks, they lost an average of 1.2 kilos and lowered their percentage of body fat by 1%. More importantly, the women enjoyed the class so much that they made it a habit and continued to attend classes at least once a week. Very unusual for an aerobic exercise program.
All right.
Dance is...
So many of our predictions were correct. So we got a lot of predictions right this time. For example, the 9th one we got it right. The 8th one was absolutely right. Right? A lot of our predictions were correct. So let me see your answers. Let's check. Again, write in full capitals so that you do not make any error. Okay. It was easy, right? It was long but easy. So let's see. He says an experiment. First, yes, he does say that, it increases hormones, but that he is talking about this sentence. He's just reading this sentence that it increases the hormones. So he's just reading that sentence, that's not the answer, right? After that, he says experiment done by this university found that they had more creativity to solve those problems. Okay, then it can be used as a form of therapy. So we did guess this one as well. Some of you said therapy, right? Okay, now 33rd, it says accessible for people with low levels of dash, low levels of fitness. We got this as well, right? Better dash reduces the risk of accident, so better balance. Now he said better balance reduces the risk of accidents. Okay, improves dash function. So improves, as I said, heart or brain. We got this right? Improves brain function and gives people more dash. So more motivation. We did get this right as well. So we said motivation, encouragement. So many of our answers, we were able to guess it. So do you see how important prediction is? Hello, Deeksha. Nice to have you. Okay, can lessen the feeling of. Now, instead of loneliness, they used a synonym. They said isolation. So we said loneliness. They used a synonym. They said isolation. And then calories was exactly right. We predicted calories. The answer is calories. Then we predicted disease. So yes, they did say disease. They said obesity. And for the last one, they say it could become a habit. It became a habit for the participants. All right. So now did you get all right? Now so many of our guesses worked. You should have gotten all right. Okay. So now all right. Okay. High five, all of you who got all right. Good job done. All right. So now, yes, talking about where you can take your free listening test, which is computer based. So I'm pasting the link in the chat box. You can look at that link and you can take a free, you can take your free listening computer based test. So I've pasted the link in the chat box. Thank you so much, all of you, for joining me. And if you liked this video, do not forget to click on the like button so that I can see if you liked it. And if you want to make suggestions, please feel free to leave them in the chat box. I will definitely include them. Also, if you want more live free videos, you can subscribe to our channel, which is LeapScholar. So you can click on the subscribe button, which if you do that, you will get notifications whenever we start a free live video. All right. I shall see you super soon with another new series. Thank you for staying with me the entire week. The link for the free test is in the chat box. You can click on that and you can take the computer-based test. So yes, I've posted it in the chat box. I will post it in the comment section also once the video ends. So if you can't find it in the chat box, you can just come back to the video. It will be there in the comments section as well. Okay. Thank you so much, everyone. Bye-bye.